Yes, guys, we're back, and it's back for another liver awareness show. Right, this is the stream where you get to come in and raise any causes you want to raise, whilst we talk about certain conditions and also other sort of conditions that come from that as well. This week we are going to be talking about anemia and encephalopathy. So, encephalopathy is something I'm facing day after day after day after day with the problem I have now. And anemia is just something I've really been experiencing this week, to be honest, because I was bleeding a little bit yesterday. They didn't really get blood done on a Thursday because they couldn't tell what the blood result was. So they said we can try and do it next week, but this week I am literally drained on blood. So I'm a bit short of breath, bit tired, but we're good. We're okay. I'm still doing the streams and still doing the content for you guys. We got Bargav in the building. How's yourself?
Good, man. As always, this is like for me the most important show of the week. Every week we raise an awareness on something new. I mean, definitely have something for you. Some questions for you. One is like definitely with regard to anemia is like what regular people can do. I think you face it more. You face it definitely. It's definitely one of those topics. I think everybody, because my mom had it growing up so far, and I think definitely it's something I really want to be aware of. So I'm really excited for that.
I think we'll get into more of that sort of anemia, what types there are and stuff further down the line. Because I need to sort of look at it towards a little bit myself as well.
Yeah.
Just in case if I'm losing too much blood. I did have one period where I lost a lot. I went to do Charlie, and I'll explain that bit. But Charlie, how's yourself, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not so bad. You feeling better from yesterday?
Yeah.
Good. I think we're all cracking a little bit of a laugh today. Been really, really good. These streams today, and they've been good laughs, good bout of fun, and and Twitter, it's very exciting. It's very laughable as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I love the football streams, I do, but streams like this, I do like a little bit better because I think I take a lot more from these streams. Definitely football is very entertaining, right? They're very entertaining, but do you want to talk? So, you have like anemia, right? From just from like
I don't have anemia as like a condition, so I'm not permanently low on blood, for example. As we've been Daniel in, how are you? So how's yourself, mate? Oh God. Okay. Hopefully we can come back on in a minute. But yeah, I don't have anemia as like a major condition.
Okay.
It's just that because I was bleeding last week, and we managed to stop it by not taking so much blood thinner. Because we didn't take so much blood thinner. And we've got that healed up a little bit because what's happened is that sometimes there are little varices below that bleed and ooze, so it ends up coming out in the stools, unfortunately, and when I bleed. So sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. Last time it really did hurt, really had a massive impact, and that's because I was taking too much blood thinner. But now we've sort of corrected it. It's more now that I might lose it over time, but it just means I have a top up of blood every month or something like that. The only thing really this time is because they only couldn't get the blood results back in time. When I went last week, they said, "Well, you've got the results this evening. When's the next time you could come?" And I went, "Well, my next time is Thursday, really." And they went, "Are you sure you can ask the Thursday?" I said, "Well, I don't feel any different at the minute." And then obviously now a few days later, I'm starting to feel a bit more out of breath, a bit more tired and stuff like that. So it's more just
like blood loss. It's more blood loss.
Yeah, it's more blood loss. That's what it stands. That's what it stands for. It means you're low on more low on blood, but it's just because I gradually at the minute lose blood whilst losing the almond on top of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something we could definitely look into because so can't come on. I'll keep your company in the chat. Thank you very much. I want to see you in the UCLs, Brian. I've heard people taking blood thinners have a bit more resistance to COVID. No studies to don't believe in most of the rumors. Just believe in what's already been stated. Right? Yeah. Just don't believe in rumors about COVID. Just believe in what's actually facts, because there's a lot of rumors going around. So that's my advice. Your work is no, honestly, my work is because I want to keep as much content for you as possible. I love doing the content. I love interacting with people. It's my way of coping with what I'm going through as well. So it's, big ups to all of you that tune in and watch me waffle on for ages on end. And
no, it's actually we learn a bit more about you, man. I mean, like I think people don't realize like the stuff that you do, like just to put yourself on screen. Like some of people don't realize like you go to the hospital every Thursday for the last how many years has it been that you've had to make it Thursday your hospital day?
It's been over a year now. It's been about a year and 5 since September. So September's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, about 6 months now, a year and a half. So and still they can't find anything to make it better. How low is your regular red blood count? Very low. It's definitely on. It was low enough to then go get the 111 service to call me and said, your blood thinner's a bit low. I went, yeah, I do know this. I was expecting this. And they're like, well, when can you come to the hospital? Like, next Thursday. Why? I went, well, don't you feel unwell? I went, no. Do you think if I was feeling unwell, I'd be sitting here talking to you over the phone? No, I'll be in the hospital. I'll be washing myself through A&E. Which is what happened the last time. So it's nice because they keep a check on you, but then because you've been in and out of hospital all your life, you know how you feel. You know if you feel well, if you don't, and that's why I said I'm okay. Right, if I lose any more, then I'm probably going to end up going to the hospital. But I'm okay for now to keep doing what I'm doing. So, but yeah, but hopefully it will get sorted on Thursday. I'll be having albumin, I'll be having blood as well, and I'll be bouncing off the ceiling. Right, I'll be bouncing off the ceiling to watch Arsenal get absolutely smashed by Slavia Prague. How are you, Daniel?
I'm good, mate. You? How's everything? Sorry, I'm using camera shy. That's why I don't show my face.
No, it's all right. It's all right, mate. We'll talk about anemia, encephalopathy, and plus any issues you want to discuss as well. So you got any questions you want to ask about anemia or encephalopathy? Because encephalopathy is the main thing that I struggle with.
What is the other one? I don't know. I don't really know what any of them are.
Yeah, encephalopathy is where either ammonia or bilirubin, which is what the liver trucks out, gets then into the blood system, and when it goes into the blood system and goes into your brain, it makes you it makes you not sort of. My sister tried to explain this last week as well, is that you're not the same person. You become more irritable, you're more ratty, you're more confused, you forget things, you make silly mistakes. Your brain actual function, you're less aware of yourself. And if you have such a high level, for example, you can't drive because you're not with it. You're not really being able to anticipate the cars coming, right? Anticipate what the traffic's doing, right? And so you become very less aware of what's going on around you because the brain function just gets messed up. If the levels go too high, for pneumonia, you can end up having a seizure. There's different types of levels of encephalopathy. And I mean, me and mum are still trying to work out what's best, just in case. But I mean, the bilirubin once I had, which was my third transplant, the highest it went was 968, and if it went to 1,000, I would not probably be doing streams like this, because I would be too brain dead to know anything from right and wrong, because it would have started poisoning and damaging my brain. So it's a dangerous sort of aspect you've got to contend with, and try and keep as low as you can, because the lower you can, the more clear you are.
Your sister described it as like a bleach to the brain, basically, and that's possible.
Yeah, basically, because it completely turns you into someone you're not. So, for instance, say like for example, say like if someone takes something that I do on a regular basis on this channel, and they want to do it on someone else on another day or whatever, right? I can then, usually as a normal person, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, whatever, that's fine. But then if I'm really encephalopathic, I can then go, nah, don't like that. What are you doing? Right? No, fuck off. This, that, and all the other, and just end up losing it, and then just doing stupid, petty little things that you wouldn't do as a normal human being. Right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't do as your normal self. So, which is it's hard to take, because you're not like that, and it's difficult to explain to other people, because all they then see when they meet you for the first time is this person, and you're like, it's not me. It's not me. It's like someone taking over you and completely doing a madness on you. So it is hard to take when that
Steven,
that happens.
what did you want to do, like life wise? What did you want to do, like profession wise?
The original idea was I was wanting to be I was always good at maths, so I wanted to do accountancy. When I looked into it, it's more just reporting on numbers and stuff like that. And I was doing quite well. Did the first year at uni, and I got a 2-1, so I was doing really well actually. But the second year, again, the encephalopathy started going up for some reason, or the level started going up, and I'm like, I don't feel right. I don't feel right. I don't feel quite myself. So we went to the hospital and did all the scans we needed to. They then found this problem with the portal vein being blocked, which then stops the ammonia trying to get out. The liver function works, but the ammonia can't get out the system. So because of this blockage, and with the blockage as well, it causes pressure on the system, which then leaks my albumin for the gut every week. So then I've got to go through infusions every week. It just ends up having initial problems on top of it. And because I've had so much surgery, I can't do any more than I can't do any surgery anymore to fix it. So I'm stuck like this because there's no access. So yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult, but again, I'll have days. I mean, like I think it was a couple of weeks ago, where I was like, oh, I don't really want to do this. I just want to break. I just want to just be on my own. And I think everyone was like sort of wondering, wow, what's wrong with him? It's just one of those weeks where I just didn't want to do anything. Just cut off, because I was just getting fed up with it. But in the end, what am I going to do? Am I just going to sit there and just go, yeah, well, there's nothing I can do. Just sit here and just do bugger all, or just actually try and make a change and say, no, this ain't right. Let's try and stop this happening to anyone else. So, and that's what I'm like. This is my one-man mission to try and stop this happening to someone else. I will point out actually to everyone in the chat, the thumbnail at the behind us, all done by Talk Menu, by the way. The pictures you're seeing behind there are the picture below Bargav is the surgeon who's done all of my surgery, every single bit of it, all 18 procedures. And the one that's just so it's got a little picture of me is where we took a picture for yeah, there it is. Look, there. where we did a piece for the Guardian about relationship between a surgeon and a patient, and we were standing in front of the very table that he'd done everything on me, literally done all these experiments, as we call it. But yeah, it's just other things you just got to cope with. But at the moment we're staying mainly stable at the minute. It's just keeping it there.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes I feel like that sometimes myself, but
So weekly, like, do you have to so you have to get like your infusions every week, right?
mm-hmm.
And so like every like Thursday at the hospital, you pretty much have to go and get infusions, and then so you can't drive anymore. Did you ever have like I think it's like an A word. I forgot the name of it. I was looking at it. Is it asterisks? Something like that.
I didn't have any problem with it.
You didn't have any problems with that? No, I was wondering like with the.
No, it's because it's just the encephalopathy meant I couldn't think straight, so I couldn't anticipate a car coming.
Yeah.
So
okay.
if someone hit the
Gotcha.
brakes, I'll be anticipating it far later than I should be doing.
Like reaction time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which kills me to death because
Because you love F1.
cars. Well, not just that. I've got a lovely car that's outside that I got on Motability, and I put a large deposit down for that, and I got 2 months of driving out of it, and it kills me as well because I love. People might think it's a chore. I love driving. Because it's freedom, it's independence. You don't have to rely on anyone else to cart you around everywhere. So that's the main thing I've always been battling with, is just having some level of independence in my life. I never want to be dependent on other people. That's why it hurts when they said they couldn't. When they said they couldn't let me drive.
Mm.
And that's been now over a year now.
Mm.
It's just, yeah, it's really sometimes it's just, some news is just hard to take. And yeah, we're trying one thing. We're now trying different things to try and see if we can get rid of it. We're trying to see if we can do lactulose, senna, vitamin tablets, because they can't fix it surgically. We're trying everything in which way around it to try and combat it and see if we can get it low enough to get the drug that stops me from driving off. Because if you're on this drug, you can't drive. Simple. So, but if you can come off the drug and keep the level low enough, you can. So it's trying to find different ways to try and see if it works. If it does work, then hey, hunky dory. If it don't, then I could end up giving the car back, which will kill me. It literally will kill me. Because there's just no point to having a car. It just sits on the drive. But Talkman, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Just scoffed my tea rather sharpishly. Got a bit of indigestion now. Belly ache, honestly. Getting too old for scoffing things so quickly.
Yeah, I'll tell you. You and your malwams, and I don't know what goes on with you, man.
But listen, I'm stopped up to the eyeballs on my arms.
Big up everyone. Apparently, stay strong. You have a lot of support. Thank you very much, Mel. Mel, we sometimes chat like really late late for me at night, and
same, yeah.
You really do help. I did notice you nail clubbing.
What's that mean?
Nail clubbing.
Never heard of that expression.
Oh, is it this? Oh, yeah. Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah. Basic examinations is where you can sort of tell sort of certain conditions where you've got sort of clubbing on the end of your fingers.
Clubbing of what?
It's on the end. If you look, this is on the end of if you put them like that, you can see just where a little bit of the nail, the finger sticks out a bit of the thumbnail. That there.
Mm.
And it's just another way of measuring what sort of symptoms you have. Because that's what they'll look for when you're trying to do an examination. If you're out for the count and they need to examine you, like they'll feel for your liver, they'll feel for your spleen, they'll get you to do that, and then they'll get you to do that, and then they can see what clubbing you've got in terms of how much steroid you're taking or something like that. It's all just trying to find symptoms of chronic disease, or what medicines you have to take. So, if you don't mind, what surgical procedures have you undergone? 6 times liver transplant. One of them had a splenectomy in the middle of it, and one had one of my kidneys removed by accident whilst replacing the IVC, so I had the chest cracked open. And one was the others I've had a Kasai operation where they put the bile ducts and the livers literally together, and they've also done bowel surgery. They've taken 25 centimeters of my small intestine out as well. So yeah, there's not a lot. Whatever they could say is not needed, they've got rid of. Talk about save weight. I'll be great in an F1 car because I've got no weight. So Will Chris, big up. Hello, wonderful people. Hope you're all well. Wow, really big up, Chris. Yes. If you put your thumbnails together, it should form a diamond normally. Yeah, that's the point. It should form a diamond. And if it doesn't, it just shows how much like clubbing you've got. So yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, hey, it's whatever they've had to do to try and keep me alive. It's whatever they do to try and keep you alive. And that's the thing that I love about the NHS. If you have never done anything wrong in your life, ever, all you've done is fight, right? And that's the thing. Technically, Nigel Heaton shouldn't have really done any more transplants when I'm an adult, probably about 1. But he's done an extra 2 because he won't give up. And that's the sort of man he was. He is. He won't give up. And if you don't give up on the NHS won't give up on you. Or it's as simple as that. They'll do whatever they can to find a solution. Which is why when they came up and said there's not much they can do, the doctor couldn't even look me in the eye. It was,
the NHS is just hard. A marvelous thing. It really is.
Do you know what? As much as we moan about it, and trust me, I do fucking moan about it. There's so much things I could improve with it. If they put me in charge, it'd be a whole freeform. Trust me. As much things I can do with it that make it 10 times better. Right? But one thing's for sure is if it weren't for that, where else would I be alive? Can you name me a health system where I'd be alive?
Or in serious debt.
Wouldn't be able to afford it. No, the insurance company wouldn't be able to afford it. So,
so Stephen, you have to get like albumin and like blood transfusions every week.
No, it just depends if the level goes too low.
It's just okay, gotcha.
But yeah, it's just been this week that because it's been low, I've been feeling a bit of like anemic and feeling some of the symptoms as well. Big up everyone, brilliant. 20 likes or go on. Yes, bees, smash the like button as usual.
Smash it! Really helps us out. Thanks.
Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new. If you do want to come on, the link is in the chat. I'll put it in one more time actually as well. If you do want to come on, if there's any causes you want to raise, please come and raise them. That's what it's here for. Steve, we get a new. Well, yeah. Once I'm finally like away from this, when I'm away from this pandemic, and I'm finally stable, only doing once a week infusions, I'm desperately gonna get back on the scene. Let's just right for the first, well, at least for the first time. Anyway, let's put it that way. Right, that or talk menu. We're just gonna keep going on about. Oh, liver.
You still-
Liver. Not new lover. Have a new.
Oh,
The lover's up
God.
there.
That's a funny thing that turned out
That's
well.
his fault. No, that's his fault. I'm not. No,
Lover's up there.
Oh, well,
She's up there and up
no,
there,
no,
Stephen.
Oh, he's got all bases covered, Daniel. Well.
no.
I win.
No.
I've liked it for ages, mate. So
Look, I just won up Luca about Ariana Grande, but there you go.
she's on. I liked it before she had them. She's
I
got red hair.
I don't know. Liver, I mean, yeah. Will you ever get? It depends how long it lasts, mate. If it lasts 60 odd years, fine, right? If it doesn't and it lasts 10 years, then we'll see what happens. But it's meant to be. Once you've had a transplant, you then go from that and be fine. I've had people where they've had transplants when they're months old, and they're now an adult. They've had their own kids. They have everything. They've never had a problem ever since, and I'm fucking jealous. And I am jealous, honestly. Because in here the other thing is, yeah, it is. It's bloody expensive. Yeah. But carry on. Give us insight into your life. It don't exist, mate. Right? It don't exist, mate. Right? I could say I've been flirting with the nurses, but that's about it. I had a 6-foot blonde teach me maths. She literally was like a model, honestly. But yeah, like I said, look, I haven't had a health to be able to start going down the love life route. But hey, there's one thing to look forward to once the pandemic's over.
That's a first time for everything, as they say, Stephen.
Yeah, well, you'd have to say that at 14.
Like they say, love doesn't come to you. You've got to get it yourself.
Yeah. Hi, hey, please make sure to check out the link in the description below. Yes, in this link in this description below is for the fundraising page for Children's Liver Disease Foundation.
Yes.
Go and donate to it now. Right? Do it now. Donate whatever you can. Right? I know money's tight, but whatever you can afford, please donate it. It helps fund the research so this doesn't happen to other people. It doesn't happen to other kids who are doing the exact same thing that I was doing 26 years ago. And I can tell you they're doing the same thing because I could go there right now. I can take you to the hospital right now and show you. Yeah, 22 likes. Please do hit the like button as well. Bargav, if there's any more questions you want to keep asking, let's see if you're off mute.
Bargav, there's no point speaking on mute, mate.
Yeah, so with the encephalopathy and stuff, right? Like, I mean, definitely, like, I mean, like, just to put yourself together must be tough, man. I'll put it this way. You're, like, breaking my heart with, like, some of the stuff, actually, that's not normal in that sense. What else? What's like the daily routine for you in that sense? Like, medicine-wise? Like, do you have to, like, wake up and take, like, a bunch of medicine? Like steroids, blood thinners, and stuff like that?
I might just if it's okay with everyone, I might do a show where I show like what medications I have to take and that. But yeah, I think you have to be careful with that. But I might have to look into that.
Okay.
See if I can or not. But
yeah,
I'd say immune suppression drugs, obviously.
Yeah.
There's actually a case study where if you take immune suppression drugs, because the COVID overdrives your immune system, because you're low on immunity because of it, you don't get many symptoms.
Yeah.
Because it just raises the immunity up to a level of someone who's normal. So, but I don't want to try that out. That's probably why I didn't get as many effects as my mom when we both had the vaccine. But yeah, I've got immune suppression drugs to take. I've got steroids I've got to take, and they help me eat. But you can see my face is round as a football, right? And yeah, you've got there's what is painkillers to take that I take every evening. There's obviously lactulose and stuff that I've got to take to help try and combat the ammonia and stuff. There's obviously an pneumonia drug I've got to take as well. So yeah, there's loads of different medicines plus the blood thinning injection. I don't take a blood thinner as a tablet. I have to do an injection every night, so to keep it thin. But yeah, there's loads of stuff I've got to take to keep everything as it is. I know one person who got in the wrong crowd she had 2 transplants. She got into the wrong crowd when she got to university. Started doing the wrong things, started drinking, started not taking her meds. 2 weeks she was dead with liver failure.
Wow. 2 weeks? Wow.
2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks until she was confirmed liver failure. Right? And pretty much dead by that point. So
Yeah, man.
That's what happens sometimes when you get in the wrong crowd or you don't do as you're told. So that's why I was being brained into me at a very young age too, to go and to make sure I take my meds and kept on top of my health. I'm trying to find. Right. I'm just going to try and find another definition of encephalopathy. Right. What do we know about encephalopathy? Encephalopathy means brain disease, disorder, or damage. The term refers to temporary or permanent conditions that affect the brain's structure or function. The main symptom of encephalopathy is a change in a person's mental state. There are different types with distinct causes. And encephalopathy can be a complication of another condition. Physical injury could be because of trauma, physical head trauma or something like that. Toxins is the big one. If toxins build up in the blood and reach the brain, they can cause damage. This may result from an underlying condition, infection, or exposure to toxic chemicals. Uremic encephalopathy. This result in uremic toxins building up in the blood when a person has kidney failure. If hepatic, this happens if liver disease causes toxins to build up in a person's blood. So that would be me. Toxic metabolic encephalopathy. This occurs when toxic chemicals or a chemical imbalance caused by an infection so there's loads of sort of different causes like high blood pressure, lack of oxygen, pyrrhine diseases, vitamin B1 deficiency, so inherited conditions as well. Loads of little sort of stuff, and I think it comes up in a sort of a category of how bad things are at a certain level, where mine is quite sort of low, but bad enough to not let me drive. But there's some ones where it's really high, where you could end up getting a seizure if you're not careful. So it's sort of ranking how bad is it. So
every week you still have to. That's the reason why you have to go to the hospital every week, just to kind of maintain it at that level.
No, because the medication does that. So it's more just keeping an eye on it every 2 weeks with a ammonia test. But the main idea is to try and the thing I need for hospital is doing infusions. Now, if the radiology were quite happy to do it, they'll happily try again to put us another midline in and try and do it at home. But unfortunately, they don't want to do it because they've tried twice and it don't work, and they've broken the line twice. So, but actually, just hold on 2 seconds. I mean, just keeping the chat. What's going on? Just 2 seconds. I'm gonna quickly. I literally a second. Watch this. Right. Now, this is when we were doing it at home, and we're hoping if we can at some point do it again, if the veins heal up a little bit. And what happens is when you go and have the infusion, this is what you get. That's what I lose every week. It's called albumin, and it's synthetic. It's not actually human one, but it's basically like it's similar to like the white of an egg, as such. And I have to have 5 of these every week to keep the level high enough to keep everything else in check. Because if you lose that, you don't. Whatever you eat and drink just sits there. It doesn't process. It doesn't give you the nutrients you need. So then you lose calcium, you lose magnesium. All the other levels start to drop because you're not getting the levels you need from eating, drinking, doing all other stuff as well. So, yeah, it's not easy. Let's put it. So that 5 bottles of them, and they take just over an hour to put them through. So, depending how good the cannula is at the time. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it takes bloody ages. Think you're around, stage. You would have trouble with daily tasks at stage 3. Yeah, that's what I would say. Stage 1 or 2. When we looked at it, me and my mum, it was more stage 1 and 2. But yeah, let us know when you are free at some point, mate, and we'll get you on the for this show, because it'd be great. Be strong. Thank you so much as usual. Every day when you stream, you make us stronger from the stress we deal with in our lives is nothing and nowhere near the hey, everyone has their own struggles, right? They all have their own struggles and they all have their own reasons. So it's just mine has just been so much greater and bigger so much than everyone else's. But it doesn't mean that those people are not as strong as myself. It's just they've never had to experience that. And they shouldn't. It's a simple fact. But everyone has their own struggles. So I never see it as like a competition. I just want to explain what I've gone through. If it helps them say, oh, if he can get through that, I can get through this, then that for me, that means a lot. So
I'll go with that.
His mic's gone again.
You're on.
So I do want to say, I've seen you on your good days and really, really bad days also. And I've seen everything in between. This is like a really good day in this sense. But on the bad days, I've seen you very irritable, extremely, it's like some days I feel like I have to watch what I say because I don't want to set you off with a certain thing. Yeah. I think your sister described that same thing last week, actually. But it's also pretty inspirational because you're still there'll be times I'm like, you need to take a break, Steven. You need to take a break. And you're like, let's just go. and I'm like,
and I'm like, fuck
nothing
off,
to
let's
it.
get on with this.
It's like like the hardcore work ethic and the way you appreciate like even every single day. It's really inspiring what Melina said, and that's the part people don't see, and that is pretty. And also you're also giving people like an appreciation for life again. I mean, I know this is lockdown, and it's like people look at you as an inspiration in that way, whether you want to be or not. I mean, that's a different story, but just for our sakes, during lockdown, sometimes like we go through simple things, right? Like something happens in our life that sets us off, and we think it's a really, really bad day, and then we're like, no, this ain't a bad day. Like we look at you and be like, we can definitely keep going, and we just have to move forward. And it's we're gonna attack each day like it's our last in that sense. So you're an inspiration in that way. You're making us appreciate days again. I do mean that.
Thank you. I mean, I'd never see mine as like, maybe because I've grown up with it. So you never feel like, wow, this is inspirational or something like this. I've done how great it is. I don't maybe see it like that because it's something I've had to cope with all my life. I feel with when it comes to people saying that's why sometimes I don't sort of react in sort of the way that some people may react.
Yeah, no.
And I just feel that with this lockdown, everyone will probably appreciate life a little bit more, to be honest, in general. And if it helps me by getting them to sort of see that, then brilliant, because then it makes the world a better place. It really does. And again, you don't know how long you've got. You really don't. And you just got to treasure each day as it comes. And yeah, you can have plans in the future, but they may never work out. But you make the best of what situation you have you end up in. So that's the best thing to do. It's just I've had my days where when something changes and it's like hard to take, it's like you want to just lock yourself away, but in the end you say, well, how best can I do this situation? Well, I've done the YouTube channel before. Let's restart that and get it going. And now we're here. So it's the best way to sort of combat it. So you do love your streams, but I'll make sure that don't worry. Don't worry. I agree with Stephen. Make the best of the life we have. Make things a little way and try to make as much.
We got to make it happen.
No, we don't, because it's not getting.
Yeah.
You can try.
As my dad would say, God loves a trier.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't ask, you don't get. Right?
We're gonna push for that. Don't worry.
Look. As one of her song titles is, our motive is to get her on here. Right? And you never know, she might be singing Into You afterwards. Never know.
If I catch her, she's I'm definitely gonna ask. Don't worry, but it's gonna happen.
What are you gonna do? Just like sit there outside the fucking garage?
I don't know. We'll see.
I'll try to find every concert she's going to and wait outside.
Are you a mad?
I don't do concerts, man. I ain't a concert.
No, I'm saying he's gonna be one of those sitting outside their family house. You're a mad fan. Said, no, I just need to help someone out in the UK.
You have to see one. I've seen 3 of hers. Absolutely.
Said, okay, what songs do you know? Fuck all.
You don't know any songs?
He's gonna sit outside, right? And he go, oh yeah, you must be a massive fan. Yeah. And like, all right, what songs do you know?
None whatsoever.
Thank you. Next, Side to Side. Bang bang.
Don't. No.
All right, we'll deal with that later. But on the next
positions, positions. This is a good
positions,
one. Yeah. Right, Dangerous Woman's probably the headline as well, isn't it? So
Yeah.
but right, I got to manifest it. Oh my god, Miss Melina, I love you, but fucking hell, man, seriously. See that this is when the lineup is out. Yeah, we'll be live at half.
Oh, it's Velvish one. You think you're gonna win still?
Yeah, we'll be like at 7:30 for that. Have you got? Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Exactly, I was gonna say that.
Do you tell me who doesn't? Tiago ain't starting. Wow.
Tiago,
check out.
Tiago Alcantara.
I'm happy with
He's
City's team.
Is Haaland starting for what do you call it?
Yeah, but that's their only good player on the pitch.
Say that and someone
Yeah.
scores a hat trick out of nowhere.
Is there any other like? Is there anything else you want us to know about like anemia and encephalopathy?
Ankylopathy.
Ankylopathy.
Yeah, we'll look at anemia in a minute. Let me just have a look at.
Oh, I said I was going to go on another stream before I go to work, so I'll be watching. So take care.
Yeah,
Thanks, Daniel.
Take care. Thank you. Thanks,
In a
Daniel.
bit, mate.
So just get a quick definition on it.
I'll be back. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So, summary: anemia means that either the level of red blood cells or level of hemoglobin (HB) is lower than normal, which means your body doesn't have enough oxygen. Anemia isn't a disease itself, but it is a result of something not working properly somewhere in your body. Anemia has many causes, including certain diseases or conditions as medications. Low iron levels or iron deficiency are the most common causes of anemia. So, yeah, obviously the red blood cells are produced in the bone marrow. They have about 120 days lifespan. Millions of new red blood cells enter the bloodstream each day in a healthy person. If there's not so many that many going in, then that's where you can end up having problems as well. And it just gives like a sort of inherited diseases or immune diseases, right? Chronic diseases, blood loss. Blood loss is where I'm sort of getting, because it's sort of just, it's not major blood loss. It's just little, very slowly oozing varices that are just oozing out. All low HPG. Yep, definitely, mate. It's definitely like, do you know what? Honestly, if I'd love to get you on this channel, mate, because we could go on forever about hospital shit, and this lot wouldn't know what the hell we're talking about. Are there any symptoms? The symptoms drained, very tired, because you've got no oxygen. Because you've got no oxygen in your body, you there's no energy to do the things you're doing. So you're very tired, drained, out of breath because there's no oxygen. So you're struggling to breathe because you're out of breath very quickly. I'm starting to get a bit more swelling for some reason as well. We would have a blast. Can I just ask what position do you what position as a doctor do you work in? What sort of area do you specialize in, or is it just general? But yeah, like drowsiness, stuff like that as well. Big up Talking Barca as usual. Blessed to have you in the chat. Big up everyone that's in the chat at the minute. Like, absolutely loving your support as always. You're helping this channel get off the ground. You're helping this show, the most important show of the week. I know everyone loves to tune in to the football, but this is the biggest one of the week, right? It's the most important one, and you are starting to make this come off the ground. So big up to everyone that's tuning in, right? Can we DM to each other? Yeah, just send me a DM. I'll put my DM to feed now. You can DM me at any time. I'll try and answer your as much. Like, if people want to DM me and just want to talk, I will try and get back to you as soon as I can, and try and do that for you. I'm just a GP. Yeah. So look, it also would help doctor. This thing as well is it probably helps doctors as well sort of see it from or a patient side of view, to get a better understanding, because a lot of times I run into doctors in the adult wards and they like to think they know it all, and when they've come to me with someone who's got 6 transplants and a very complicated case, they fall flat on their face. Right? They literally just then don't oh no, don't know what to do. And then go running to the consultant who does know what to do.
Hey, man, so it's a tough job, man.
Yeah, but I know that. But sometimes they need to stop. What they need to do, sometimes they need to stop. They need to just stop a minute and just need to. I always say to the students that are coming up, when they come up, is instead of trying to guess, unless they're unwell and unless they're out for count and you need to look at their previous notes, then you'll have to do an examination and try and make the best guess you can. But if they're fully awake and they're responsive, ask questions. Just go and ask. If you ask me about my condition, I'll, like you see here today, I will just go on forever. I literally will give you a breakdown detail of what I'm going through at that point.
See, for every person like you, though,
because when they do that, then they can make the best judgment, right?
Yeah.
And it's called, then I can then trust them because they're responding to what I've said to them.
Yeah, for every person that's like you, though, and you're pretty smart, by the way. Like, I don't think you.
This is where I say to the patients as well: always try and look up what you're going through.
Yeah,
right?
but for every person like you, though, big up to all the doctors and nurses, though. For every person like you, though,
all the doctors and nurses anyway. They're
especially during these COVID times. But for every patient like you, there's a bunch of twats that they have to deal with that are using like the hospital like a 5-star hotel. I've been told. So in that sense, like dealing with some of the
I won't want to get into that, to be honest. I mean
yeah. So big up to all the nurses for all the work though that they do.
Some of the nurses the work they do is just absolute. Yeah, mate. Some of the nurses that I get that I do that I've done treatment on me are absolute diamonds. I mean, you couldn't ask for better nurses. Go out of your way to help you, right? Maybe bend the walls a little bit, but they do absolutely anything to help. And yeah, as well as some of the doctors, you always get the one or two that were like, trying to maybe be a bit arrogant at times and try and know it all or anything like that, or not be helpful. And it's then just trying to sort of find your way, the best way around it. But most of the time, they're absolutely beautiful. You can't fault them. You can't fault them at all. I would say some doctors take their time to learn the case, which leads to wrong diagnosis and eventually wrong treat. Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point as well. I found that at times as well, and I'm like, no, this is not what I said, right? But yeah, it's about it's for me. I always said, look, if you ask a patient what's going on, they'll then trust you, and if you then get it right, they'll trust you even more. So it's about building that level of trust between each person, because you've got to go from you've got to trust a stranger to give you the best care. So if they listen to what you say and do things based on what you're giving, they can then trust you and you can trust them. and it builds that relationship between them. That's why when I go and have my checkups before all this was sort of confirmed that I couldn't do anymore, I'd always ask Nigel what's going on, because he would know what to do, and I trust him fully. Like, I've had to go into surgery 18 times with this guy to put my life in his hands, literally, and I'd quite easily do it again because that level of trust. So, I mean, do you have that level of sort of trust with your doctors, Charlie?
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, if you want to put their life in your hands, then you sort of need something like beneficial to work with, don't you?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up there. I think gonna be half an hour break before I start watching the watch along. It was a bit of a shortened stream this time. But yeah, again, good things covered, good things explained, and yeah, more awareness promoted out, and hopefully Friday, hopefully we can move on, and we'll we'll be on the we're gonna be moving on to the watch along at 7:30, and then we'll be back next week again with another liver awareness show next week. And Bargav, should we mention about Fabrizio tomorrow, if it's confirmed?
Yeah, we'll do it. No, we'll do it during the stream later. We'll do it during the stream later.
During the stream later. Okay. Yeah.
But
anyway.
But thanks, Steven. I do want to say thanks again for putting yourself out there again for the world to see like this. It does. It really is pretty inspiring. So I just want to put it out there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's good to see you soon, mate. Thank you. To watch the UCL games. For my sins, I am an Arsenal fan. And wow, 2 a.m. Big up to you, mate. Thank you for tuning in at that time. Thank you. But yeah, we'll be back next week with a little awareness show. We've got the watch along next. So go and tune into that. Until then, everyone stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.